morning students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well at home. So students, in our previous lecture, we have covered all the part of plant tissues, right? And today we are going to start a new topic, that is animal tissue, right? So, animal tissue, right? So students, you have felt the movement of your, when you breathe in and out, what you felt, you must have felt the movement of your chest also, right? If you hear it carefully. So why this happens? Have you ever wondered why it happens? It happens because there is a specialized cells present in our body, and that is called muscle cells. What is it called? It is called muscle cells. So when these muscle cells or muscular cells, when they contract, right, or when they relax, what happens? It results in the movement of our organs or body, right? So it helps in the movement of organ or body, right? Similarly, when we inhale oxygen, right? So where does this oxygen goes? It goes in our lungs, right? So from lungs it goes to the our body through the blood, right? So blood takes what? Blood takes food and water, right? It is a carrier, right? So blood helps in the circulation of, or carrying the flow of this food and water, right? So we have two type of tissues, right? One is muscle cells and the other is blood, right? So these are two examples of tissue that are present in our body, right students? So also on the basis of their performance, right, our body has different types of tissues, right? It is divided into different types of tissues, and those are, the first is epithelial tissue, right? The very first is epithelial tissue. The next is connective tissue. Third is muscular tissue. Right? And the fourth is nervous tissue, right? Okay students, so this animal, in the animal, the tissues are mainly divided into four parts, right? The very first is epithelial tissue, then connective tissue, then muscular tissue, and then nervous tissue. Okay students, so today we are going to study about epithelial tissue, right? So as you all know, epithelial, right? Do you have any idea where it is present in our body? Yes, it is the outer layer covering of our body, right? Okay students, so students, in the epithelial tissue, it is divided into 6 parts, right? So the very first is simple squamous epithelium. So this simple squamous epithelium, it is of flat shape, right? The cells are of flat shape and thin, right? Also, it forms a delicate lining around the cell, right? So, these simple squamous epithelium, it is present in nose, blood cells, esophagus and around the lining of the mouth, right? So, this simple squamous epithelium, it is of thin, right? Like around our nose and our mouth, right? So, this is simple squamous epithelium tissue. The next we have is stratified squamous. So, stratified squamous has cells as in the patterns of layers, right? So, this simple squamous, it is, if you will make the diagram, it is, you can see it like this. Right? And there are cells present. So it is of flat shape. And if I draw stratified squamous, so the cells are present in the layer like this, one above the another. So here you can see they are following a pattern and they are in the layer form, right? So this is stratified squamous. The next we have is columnar epithelium. So this columnar epithelium, as the name is suggest, the cells are in the form of columns, right? Or pillar like this, right? So the cells are of pillar shape, having one nucleus. Yes, having one nucleus, right? So these are columnar epithelium, right? And they are in the columns, right? And where it is found? It is found in gallbladder, in the stomach, right? On the lining of stomach and the small intestine, right, students? The next we have is cuboidal epithelium. So as the name is suggesting, the shape of the cell will be of cuboid shape, right? So it is of cuboid shape, right? Like this. And the cells are present in it. Okay, students. So this cuboidal epithelium, it is present around the kidney tubules, right? They form what? Kidney tubules. The next we have ciliated squamous. So ciliated squamous is what? Cells having hair-like structure like cilia, right? So that is called ciliated squamous, and they are present where? They are present in the trachea, right? And bronchi, around our this bronchus, where we have that branches, right? So in our chest there are bronchus, right? As you all know. So ciliated squamous is present there, and they are having what? Columnar shape, moving cilia, right? They are moving, right? Okay, students. So the next we have is gland squamous. As the name is suggest, it is connected to the multicellular. It forms what? Multicellular glands, and it secretes substance at the surface of epithelium. Okay, students. So these are our 6 kinds of epithelial tissue, right? So I hope I make you understand, right? So the next we have is uses of what is the function of epithelial tissue, right? Functions of epithelial tissue, right? So the very first function and the main function of any epithelial tissue is to protect, right? To protect the inner organ, right, from the outer environment, right? It doesn't allow the direct contact, right, between the environment and organ. So the very first is it protects, right? The second is, so students, secondly, it does what? It helps in the absorption of water and nutrition in the body, right? Absorption of water and nutrition, right, in our body, right? The third is it helps in the elimination of any kind of waste, right? It's help in the elimination of waste. Yes. And the fourth we have, it helps in what? In performing some secretory function, right? It helps in performing secretory function, like secretion of some glands or not. Okay, students? So this is all about the function of epithelial tissue, right? So what is the function? I repeat once again. It protects, right? It protects our internal body against the outside environment, right? It helps in the absorption of water and nutrition, right, in our body. And it helps in the elimination of waste, right? Also, it helps in performing secretory function. Okay, students? So what we have done today, we have covered this epithelial tissue, right? So students, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, students? So meet you in the next class. Thank you so much.